Я te забью, Юрай! Я te забью, блядь! Добр дан! Добр дан! Здраво! Как дела? Здраво! How are you? Everything fine? What is my name, блядь? What is my name, bitch? You remember? Добро, добро. Hello, hello. Hi to you, hello. I was just saying hi to my neighbors here. You know, something that always amazes me living in the Germanic part of Europe is how people really have a problem with smiling. You know, after so many years resident in Prague, you kind of become inured to it. You don't really pay attention to it anymore. I guess when you're having a really good day, you kind of want to wonder what the hell's wrong with a large proportion, I won't use the word most, but a large proportion of society that really has a problem exercising the maxillofacial muscles and smiling. And it doesn't have to be some saccharine dripping, wide Cheshire Cat grin with all kinds of schmaltz on it. It can just be like a normal, you know, let me try a few. Just something like that, like really basic. Just a nice smile, you don't have to show teeth, just acknowledge people's presence. It's human, it's social, it's dignified, dare I say, it's even moral. There's an explanation for the reason why people in the post-communist world don't smile. The reason they don't smile, my mother used to like saying, is because they have bad dental work. Which in some parts of the former Soviet Union, or if you go around Ukraine, for example, that is actually the case. There's a lot of capped teeth, a lot of gold teeth, a lot of cavity teeth, a lot of tooth decay, so people don't really want to show you their teeth, or blackened teeth from a lot of tobacco smoke, unfiltered cigarettes, and all that kind of jazz. But then you have the phenomenon where, in the past, in old days, which the young people don't even realize, they've kind of taken it in through osmosis from their grandparents and their parents. If I smile at you, that means I want something from you. If I'm being nice, there's a reason why I'm being nice. There's no such thing as the so-called American concept of being nice for the sake of being nice. Now hold on and hold your horses just a moment, because I know you're going to start going on about how when Americans are being nice, it's complete bullshit and there's nothing genuine about it. Let's not bring that into the argument for just a moment. I'll get to that in a second. But there is something to be said about just ordinary niceness. Unfortunately, in the part of the world where I live, if you start smiling at people, they think you're a little bit bizarre. I've heard this mentioned by people in various cities where I've traveled to, whether it's in Bucharest or in Belgrade or in Bratislava or wherever it is in the region. Even to the west in Germany, which is the world's fourth largest economy and is a mighty, mighty force to be reckoned with, if you kind of smile at people on the street, they think you're a bit odd. It's just not in keeping in line with the way that people behave in that part of the world. I think it's really denying your humanity. I think there's a lot of angst. I mean, I'm not saying that I think there is a lot of angst. There is a lot of angst, and writers from times immemorial have captured that angst in their writing. It's something about the character of the people. Is it genetically inherited? A neurologist had told me once that it is. I'm going to go out on a limb, and like some of my friends online like to do, I'm probably going to be spanked around pretty hard for this, but I'm going to say that people learn how not to smile. And it kind of sucks, because the city of Prague is a gorgeous city. It's an Austrian-financed imperial city. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, and for the most part, it's a gorgeous city with good-looking people, and it's sad that people just don't know how to smile because they just feel like smiling. They have to have a need to smile, or they have to giggle at something, or even worse, the worst of the worst, is that they have to be completely shit-faced drunk in order to smile. That's pretty pathetic. It's one of the days where I'm not as bitter about it as I normally am, which means that I can opine about it with a little bit of clarity, and I don't have an axe to grind, and I'm not ranting about it. I just think that it's really tragic that a smile is a commodity. Oh, excuse me, on the contrary, it's really a tragedy that a smile is a special occasion gesture. It's not a commodity item. A smile should be a commodity item because just like babies will look at their parents smiling, it's the same way that young people will follow each other sort of in a cascade. When one smiles, the next will smile, and so on and so forth. In the same way in society. It just makes for a nice, well-balanced, harmonious, sorry to use that Chinese term, but it makes for a very harmonious way of doing things. Very sad. Very sad. Germans, Czechs, Slovaks, Poles, they just do not know how to smile. And it could be very annoying too. And a lot of American kids who come and study here in Prague, for example, or a lot of new coming expats, they have a problem with this. It actually has a lot to do with how you meet people. If nobody smiles at you, how do you know that they're interested in having a dialogue? Just a thought. And just a concluding word about American fake niceness. I think American niceness is about practicing good habits, and it's about developing good routines. If you are invariably nice to people, often, it kind of rubs off on people and becomes habitual. And I would prefer to live in a society which is nice by rote, as opposed to a society which is nice by technique. Nice by technique never comes off as genuine. Nice by rote may not necessarily be authentic, but it's a hell of a lot more pleasant than being in a place where if you smile, they scowl. It takes a hell of a lot more energy to frown, ladies and gentlemen, to keep your face tight. I'm astonished by people that will look at me and I just go like that, and they look at me like this. And it doesn't matter what time of day it is. It can be 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 degrees on the street, and if you smile at somebody, you're going to get one of these in Prague. And the great thing is when you get somebody that goes like that back, you know you made an impact. So that's the video blog of the day. За что? Что хочешь? Sex and travel. That's what I got to say to people when they look at me. Sex and travel. You know what that means? It's a nice way of saying fuck off. Sex and travel. Sex and travel. Sex and travel. Sex and travel. Or as we say in Czech, nasledeno.